Hello everyone. Today we will be going over the hoses in Firestorm 2 because I've seen a lot of people struggling with them, so I'm going to cover most of the basics and the things you need to know. Okay, so first off let's go for a walk around the vehicle. This is a Type 3, which is the most common you'll see, and the hose panel is at the back. For all US Forest Service vehicles, the hose panel will be at the back. However, if you are on the Santa Barbara County Fire Department, the hose panels will be on the side. On this hose panel you can see a place to attach a supply line in red, 2 places for attack lines in grey, and a filling indicator which will show you how full the tank is. As you can see, it's fully lit up because I've got a full tank. If you have the water cannon game pass, you will also have the water cannon on the front of the vehicle. This will be on the Type 3 and the Type 6 only. Here is the tank from the Santa Barbara County Fire Department, and as you can see, the water panel is on the side. The hose pack is up here, and the rest of the attachments remain the same. One thing to note is that on the Santa Barbara County Fire Department Type 3 Wildland Urban Interface vehicle, while the panel for attaching the hoses is on the side, you will have to go round to the back to get the hose pack. Now that we've gone over the locations of the panels on the truck, we are going to be actually creating a hose. So the first thing you're going to want to do is grab a hose pack from up here, and in this case we'll be attaching it to the attack line attachment point. You can pick up the hose by holding F and drop it using backspace or the button down here. Once you've dropped it, you'll be able to connect an attachment which will allow you to put on a nozzle so that you can spray with water. You will need this nozzle to spray with water, and if you do not have a nozzle attached to the hose, it will do nothing when you click. If you want to extend the hose, you can grab another hose pack from the truck and you can attach it to the hose by holding G, the same way you attached it to the truck. Additionally, you can add an attachment of a two-way connector, which will allow you to attach 2 hoses to the end of the hose, which gives you more options when you want to extend in different directions. There is a limit of hoses of up to 6 hoses attached together, otherwise it could get very confusing. In order to remove the hoses, you can hold E to pack the hose, or in the fire truck you can get in the driver's seat and disconnect all hoses. You will be able to drive when there's a hose attached, which allows for pump and roll, which is when someone is spraying while you're driving, but your speed will be limited. You will always have the option to disconnect hoses if you want to discontinue that. Another way to spray water is with the water cannon. If you have the water cannon game pass, you'll be able to use the water cannon on the Type 3 or Type 6 by left clicking. This will cause the water cannon to start spraying water that you can aim by looking around. In order to stop spraying, left click. Be wary though that this does use a lot of water, although it is very effective, so make sure to keep an eye on the filling indicator and make sure you don't run out of water. There are 4 ways to refill your truck when it is out of water. The first way is with a fire hydrant like I've got right here. Like with the attack line, you grab a hose pack, but instead of attaching it to the grey connectors here, you attach it where it says attach supply line. Once you've got a supply line, pick it up with F and attach it to the fire hydrant. You can also attach a 2-way connector to supply lines if you want, but this is not always useful. As you can see, once it's connected to the fire hydrant, it will start filling. Bear in mind you will have to connect it to the truck first and then the fire hydrant, not the other way round, as this will not work. The second way to refill is with one of these water cisterns. You can find these around the map, and as you can see on the side, it says non-potable. I've seen a lot of people confuse this with portable with an R, but non-potable just means that it is not drinking water. In order to refill, it's exactly the same as the fire hydrant, where you attach the supply line to the fire truck and then pick it up and attach it to one of these slots. There are 4 of these connection points around the cistern, and either one of them will work, allowing multiple trucks to be refilled at the same time. As you can see, the indicator will go up when it refills with water. The third way to refill is by using a river or lake. In order to do that, you first grab a hose pack and attach it to the supply line attachment point. You then pick it up and drop it in the water using backspace or the button down at the bottom of the screen, and once it's in, the truck will start filling with water. As you can see, the indicator will start lighting up when it starts filling. The fourth and final way to refill is via other vehicles. Different vehicles have different tank capacities, with the Type 3 having 100 gallons. The tank capacities of the vehicles will be on screen right now. In order to refill with another vehicle, you must first grab a hose pack from either your vehicle or the other vehicle, it doesn't matter which, and then attach it to the vehicle you are refilling from. Pick up the hose and attach it to the vehicle that you want to refill. It's important that it's in this order, otherwise it will not refill. And as you can see, now it is going from the water tender to the Type 3, just like the direction I connected it. I will now be going over how to set up a helispot for refilling helicopters. In order to do this, the first thing you want to do is use a rake to clear out a large area that is enough space for 1.5 times the rotor width of the helicopters. You then want to make sure all trees are cleared in the area and make sure that you have an approach with low trees on both sides for entry and exit. Once you've done this, you are going to set up the hoses. In order to set up the hoses, you first attach a supply line. This is going to be the main line that you use to branch out. If you are refilling multiple helicopters, you can attach a two-way connector to this and split off the hoses in multiple directions. But since I'm only going to be refilling one helicopter, I will have one hose. I'm going to keep this hose near my truck at the start. The second thing you're going to want to do is get an attack line. This attack line can be as long as you want, and it needs to have a nozzle attached to prevent fire from becoming a danger if it gets too close to the helispot. Once your hose is set up, you stand near your water tender and the helicopter is safe to fly in. When the helicopter is approaching, make sure you are standing in front of the helicopter and your vehicles are positioned in front of the helicopter. At all times you should stay at the front or to the sides of the helicopter and make sure you do not get near the tail rotor, as this is very dangerous. Once the pilot has landed, they will shut off their engines and signal for you when it is clear to approach. You must not approach the helicopter when it is not clear to approach. As you can see, the pilot has now told me it is safe to approach, so I'm going to pick up my supply line and I'm going to attach it to this spot on the tank here. For the Sky Crane, the attachment spot is at the back of the tank, and for the Firehawk it is in the same location as the Huey. On the side you will also see a filling indicator that is similar to that on the trucks. Once it's filled, you're going to pick up the hose, you're going to show it to the pilot to make sure that they see it's disconnected, and then you're going to walk back to the truck. It's important you show the hose to the pilot so they do not try to take off with the hose still attached. Once you're clear of the spot, they will then restart their engines and take off in a safe direction, making sure that they go where the trees are being cleared and it's not too high. One final thing to note is that hoses do have a tendency to spawn inside the ground sometimes, especially when using two-way connectors, and this can be quite annoying because you can't attach anything to it. So in order to fix this, you'll have to get into the driver's seat and disconnect all hoses. Then that will allow you to rebuild your hose structure. Hopefully that should be everything you need to know about hoses, and if you still have questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. I'll try and answer all of them. That being said, thanks for watching and have a great day.